good people of the world, and welcome to allforuke.com. I'm so grateful to have you on the team and can't wait to share my love for the ukulele with you. So as a little thank you for signing up for the website, I put together this short video to give you all of the tools you need to get started playing the ukulele in about 10 minutes. So grab your uke, get comfortable, and let's start playing some music together. Alright, so you've got your ukulele, you're excited to get started playing. First thing you want to start doing is getting in good playing position. So in order to be in good playing position, I like to take the ukulele, set it on my upper right thigh, and tilt the ukulele to about a 45-degree angle. I also like to have the face of the instrument, the fretboard here, open so that I have a nice sight line to where my fingers are going to go on the frets here. With my left arm, I want to make sure that my left arm is free swinging. I don't want to rest it on my leg. So a nice loose left arm here. And with my right arm, I'm going to take my forearm and press it up against the instrument. So that's going to hold the ukulele nice and tight to my body. You don't want the ukulele slipping away from you. So I take my palm and I cover the sound hole just like this, and that puts my arm in good playing position. Now, the tuning. Very important. I suggest and highly recommend getting one of these clip-on tuners that goes right on the headstock of the instrument and picks up the vibration of the strings. So sometimes you might be playing ukulele where there's other ambient noise or music in the background. These clip-on tuners do a great job of picking up the vibration of just your instrument and keeping your instrument in tune. So the strings of the ukulele are tuned G, C, E, and A. So from top to bottom, G, C, E, A. Now this is a low G string ukulele, so you'll notice that this is a lower pitch register. Now I'll show you what a high G string sounds like in comparison. G, C, E, A. So when you start tuning up your ukulele, make sure that it sounds like either one of these instruments before you get started playing. Alright, so let's learn our first strumming pattern on the ukulele. So we've got our hand in good position here. We're going to use our index finger, and we're going to make sure that our arm is still placed on the body of the instrument here. And we're going to make this little hook shape and drag our finger down the strings. So you don't need to hold down anything on the ukulele. Just drag your finger across the strings and brush them lightly. So the pattern that I'm going to show you to get started here is called down, up, clap. So we're going to start by going down with our finger, and then up with the pad of our index finger, and then cover the sound hole. So let's look at that again. Down, up, clap. Down, up, clap. Down, up, clap. Down, up, clap. And you want to make sure that you're strumming right over the sound hole region here to achieve your best tone. Alright, so before we start playing chords, let me explain these little diagrams that we're going to use throughout the videos. So as you can see in the diagram, there are going to be some vertical lines here representing the strings, the horizontal lines representing the frets, and the dots, which represent where your fingers are placed on the fretboard. First things first with chords, you want to make sure that you're bending at your last knuckle to make sure that you're getting good pressure on the strings. And when you're pressing down on the strings, you want to make sure that you leave a little sliver of space between the fret and your fingertip. So the first chord we're going to look at is the all-famous C chord. Now the C chord is what they call a major chord, and when you see it on a diagram, it's just going to be the capital letter C. So take your ring finger, place it here on the 3rd fret on the A string, and it should sound like this. Alright, so the second chord that we're going to look at is a minor chord. Now the difference between a minor and a major chord is a minor chord is notated with a lowercase m next to it, and it's going to sound sad versus the happy sound of a major chord. So the second chord we're going to learn is the A minor chord. So take your middle finger, place it on the top string here, the G string, on the second fret, and now it becomes very important to make sure that you stay on your fingertip and bend at that last knuckle. And this chord should sound like this. Moving on to the first two-finger chord that we're going to use. This is a major chord, and this is the F chord. So to play the F chord, you're already playing half of it when you play your A minor chord. So keep your middle finger down on the top string here on the second fret, and add your index finger to the E string on the first fret. So now we have this placement. And you also really want to make sure that you're bending at those last knuckles now and you're not hitting any of the other strings, so that when you strum the F chord, it sounds like this. All right, and now for our last chord, the G7 chord. This is a very useful chord and appears in a lot of ukulele music. So moving from the F chord to the G7 chord, you're going to keep your index finger in place here on the E string, first fret. You're going to move your middle finger down to the C string, second fret, and your ring finger on the second fret on the A string. And when you have all of those fingers in place, you're on your fingertips, the chord will sound like this. And just a little trick that you should take a look at when you're playing the G7 chord is tilt your hand towards the headstock of the instrument to give your fingers nice spacing so that they're not touching any of the other strings when you play the chord. Now also note here that my thumb is right behind the chord. So that's going to give you a nice place to put pressure down and keep those fingers compressed on the strings, making sure that everything is ringing out very nicely. Alrighty, so we've learned a few chords. We've got a strum pattern. Now let's put those two things together and play along. So we're going to start here by holding down the C chord, and we're going to start with our index finger here to start playing our down, up, clap strum. So we're in good playing position, our hands covering the sound hole. We're going to take our index finger and start it above the strings here, and let's just hold down the C chord together and strum down, up, clap. So we're just going to hold the C chord and play this together. So I'll count us in 1, 2, 3, 4, and play along with me at home. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, clap. Down, up, clap. Down, up, clap. Down, up, clap. So now we're going to look at playing this as a sequence of chords together, which is called a chord progression. So the progression that we're going to play is C, A minor, F, and G7. So when you're moving from chord to chord, it's always in your best interest to keep your fingers close to the next chord that you're going to by hovering your fingers above the strings. So as you can see here, I'm playing the C chord, but I'm hovering my middle finger above the top string because I'm going to my A minor chord. Let's play that together here. Starting with a C chord, the sequence will go C, A minor, F, G7. And we're going to do 4 strums on each chord. So we're going to take this nice and slow, so just make sure that you're in good playing position and strumming nice and light and staying relaxed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, clap. 2, 3, 4. Switch. Down. 2, 3, 4. To F. 2, 3, 4. G7. 2, 3, 4. So that's a very basic ukulele chord progression to get you started. And with those 4 chords and that strumming pattern, you can play an assortment of songs, anything from Let It Be by the Beatles to I'm Yours by Jason Mraz, and plenty of other popular songs. So now you're armed with the tools to start playing ukulele. We've got an easy strumming pattern, 4 chords, and a chord progression to get you going. So if you have any questions about anything in this video, feel free to email me and I'd be happy to help give you some guidance as you get started playing the uke. Thanks again for watching these videos, and I can't wait to share more great content with you.